Cody Payne. Everyone give them a great applause for such a great job. Now, backed by popular demand, my show this evening is all about regenerative science in a very big way. And my co-hosts with me tonight are the leaders of the pack in this field. Everyone give a warm welcome back to Joseph, Anthony, and Wendy Rich. Say hello, Wendy and Joseph.
Hey, Leah.
Hi.
Hi,
Leah.
It's
super happy
great.
to be back.
It's great to have you back. And, I want to know exactly, Joseph, where are you calling from?
I'm in lovely, warm Charlotte, North Carolina today.
Oh, that's great. What about you, Wendy?
Well, I'm from very cold Washington State, but it's very sunny. So sunny, cold Washington State, I guess.
And it's sunny and warm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Isn't it great? I was in the East Coast with, warm temperatures, and they tell me that Dallas was cold and rainy, and I lucked out and came back just in time, didn't I? Well, Joseph, I have a big whopper question for you. I always like to give you a whopper question to start out the show. Joseph, tell my audience about this new LifeWave technology designed to almost look like a Band-Aid that is generating an overall wellness to people's health and doing it unobtrusively. How in the world does that work, Joseph?
That's a great question, Leah, and so many people are wanting to wrap their brain or their mind around how this technology works. And I guess Wendy and I have tried to make it real simple in layman's terms. We are all light beings, animals and humans. We are light beings. We emit light because of our body heat. And so that body heat gives off infrared light. You've probably heard people say, they have cars built with night vision now, so you can see animals and, deer and humans at night. And that's the first part of the technology is because we are light beings, this brilliant scientist came up with a way to use that light that our bodies give off and reflect it back from these little size, like you mentioned, Band-Aid size patches that you just wear on your skin or even on your clothing. And that light is reflected from the materials, the ingredients that are in these patches. Again, there's nothing that goes in the body, that was the first part that when I did the research, was amazed. No transdermal, nothing, enters the bloodstream or anything like that. It's just using this infrared light to activate the different areas of our body, like stem cell, and activating that and sending signals to our brain. Imagine that. It could send a signal to activate a specific gene or cell to start to regenerate. Because as we age, we're getting older every day, every year. And so we're not producing the same amount of these stem cells. And that was the beginning of this stem cell revolution, really, to help people to look younger and feel younger, even in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, Leah.
I really, truly believe that this is something that has got to happen because I really don't intend to be old. I don't know about you, but I don't intend to be old. I want to hear now Wendy's take on this. Wendy, is a woman like me, and, we heard it, from the man's view. Wendy, tell us your take on this.
Well, just a little history about myself. I have been very interested in, researching anything that has to do with health and wealth for over 10 years now. And a little over a year ago, I met Joseph through another health and wellness community where I had been researching the benefits of stem cell therapy to the body. And when I met Joseph, he had also been researching the same thing, but he had been basically one step ahead of me. He introduced me to the nanotechnology wearable stem cell activation patches. And so I, after learning the science about them, I tried them. And now I've been wearing them for about a year. The benefits are incredible. And the funny thing is one of my favorite, because there's many benefits of them. We'll get into that further. But one of my favorite benefits is one that I had no idea would even be a benefit. And we can talk about that a little later. But they've changed my life, and I am just thankful that I had the opportunity to even know about them.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So do you feel more energy too?
Yes, that was one of the first things I noticed. I had more, not like a hyper coffee energy, but just a sustained energy throughout the day. But at the same time, a more calm state of mind. That's kind of like the perfect combination, energy and calm at the same time. Was one of the first things I noticed, and better sleep.
I want to go back to Joseph. Joseph, you mentioned that nothing really goes into your skin, and that it's amazing how it does reach, the nerve endings that reach the brain. Is that kind of like, like when you poke your skin with a needle and your brain immediately knows that it was poked with a needle?
That's actually a very interesting analogy, because there are acupuncture points in the body, and acupuncture uses these tiny, tiny microscopic type needles. And that's what they're really doing, is like when you just mentioned, when you poke yourself with the needle, your brain instantly can tell where almost that needle or that poking occurred. Like I remember stepping on a bee one time at night, and I couldn't, I felt it instantly when I stepped on. I was barefoot, but I felt the poking, I felt the pinching exactly on my foot. Now, my brain got that signal telling me where I was getting stung by that bee. So similar, you wear the patches at these specific places. You can wear them anywhere on the body. However, we do have instructions, specific points in the body. We call them meridian points, where you would wear these patches to give the best results, to get the best effect on whatever that particular patch is doing for helping the body to regenerate, to rejuvenate, repair.
Mm-hmm. That leads me to asking Wendy this question. Wendy, I've learned over the years that, to wear perfume, you need to, place it in certain parts of the body to get more of the aroma or whatever from the perfume, right, Wendy? And so, therefore, I suppose the patches work in that same way. They have to be on a certain meridian points of the body for the most effectiveness, correct?
Correct. There are meridian points where they suggest to put the patches, although you can wear them anywhere and they will still be effective. For example, like the carnosine patch, in one of the pamphlets, it shows a few different spots to put them, but one of the spots that I wear it is not on the brochure, because I've learned through just using them and experience. And then also the founder had put on a YouTube video that he found out that putting the carnosine patch right on your stomach, a little bit above your belly button, if you measure 6 fingers up from your belly button, you put it right there, that it has an additional benefit because it can help with digestion and stomach bloating. So you can play around with them and put them in different spots.
That's wonderful that you can experiment, because everyone is a little bit different, with their body makeup, right?
Yes.
And everyone, does it depend upon, I know that you've told me before in recent conversations about that you wear more than one patch. So you wear more than one patch for different purposes, and that's great. I do actually believe in the patches and endorse them, and I wear two. I believe that two really helps me instead of just one. Joseph, what do you think about that? How many do you wear?
I've worn up to 5 different patches at one time, and I agree with that sentiment because, there's some patches, for example, we'll just say the X39, which is one of we'll call it the mother patch of all the patches, because what it does is it enhances so many different areas. I mean, it improves sleep.
Right. Yeah, Joseph, I think we've got to go to commercials right now. So we'll be back before you can say life wave or before you can take patch off. We'll be right back. Everyone stay tuned.
At Orr Nursery, their goal
weekly roundup show. I have my wonderful on-demand co-host with me, Joseph, Anthony, and Wendy Rich. And they're on the show with me right now. And we're talking about this new regenerative technology that's taken the world by storm. Wendy, I want to ask you a question directly. Do these patches prevent diseases?
Well, that's a great question, Leah. We actually have a patch that's called the glutathione patch. And glutathione is the most important molecule in our body. And it's a major antioxidant and currently basically one of the most studied substances in its class. And science has shown that low levels of this glutathione are associated with risks of numerous, like a whole array of diseases. And I don't have the time to say all of them. And this list actually continues to grow. But it has been proven that raising levels of this glutathione can help prevent these diseases and actually cure some of these diseases. And LifeWave glutathione patch in clinical trials has demonstrated to raise these levels of glutathione in the average of 300% within a 24-hour period. So basically, the answer to that question is yes. Even the X39, the main one, helps all of these levels in our body, but the specific one for glutathione to answer that question, it would be the patch.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, if someone had a disease, would it take away the disease if they're already diseased, or it's more like wellness, overall health for maintenance, for preventive maintenance?
It's preventative, and it also can help heal our body. I'm not going to say, it's another tool we have in our tool belt of health. It's not, you can't just sit around, and eat and drink whatever you want and then touch and expect to heal your body. It is another tool to heal.
Mm-hmm. So nobody should, stop taking their medication for a certain thing, but adding on this LifeWave patch will definitely strengthen the body and build the immune system. Wouldn't you say that?
Definitely. And the longer that you wear them and the more your body starts to heal, then you can look into going, as you progress in your health, and you can look into maybe going off other medications, working with your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add one thing to what Wendy was saying?
Oh, definitely.
There was some clinical trials, and in the LifeWave clinical trials with glutathione patch, it was able to demonstrate that the glutathione levels in the trial participants were increased by an average of 300% within a 24-hour period.
That's awesome. These studies have been confirmed, correct?
Absolutely.
Everyone, Wendy and Joseph were on my show just about a month and a half ago. Isn't that right? And you both got some tremendous feedback from my listening audience. And I'm just, that's why I wanted you to come back, because so many people did contact me and both of you wanting more information, wanting to get more details about these life wave patches. And I've heard a lot of good things from people that contacted me via Facebook about the energy level and everything. Tell me about, athletes. Have studies been done just working with groups of athletes around the world?
Well, I will start with that, and then Wendy, you can chime in too. If you have a lot of celebrity athletes and fitness enthusiasts, they use this patch that Wendy referred to as carnosine, to push themselves further. It can help anyone experience peak performance in their daily routine. However, the patch, we believe, can improve strength, flexibility, endurance, and really it forms the foundation of a robust and active lifestyle. I've been wearing carnosine, and Wendy has too. Both of us have experienced amazing results. I know I work out at the gym every day, and my gains have been, my performance has been through the roof compared to, say, not using the patch, not wearing this carnosine patch. So, personally, I definitely would, and even professional athletes like NFL players, NBA players, professional tennis players, I don't want to necessarily mention all their names, but, they're using these patches to enhance their athletic performance.
Mm-hmm. I was going to add in that, they add to our muscle support and building muscle, but they're also proven to increase stamina up to 125%.
That's awesome. I can see why, all the gyms or even, the athletic teams should really have, a supply of these life wave patches on hand, especially, or an individual if they're getting ready to do something strenuous, or like maybe shopping at the mall or, taking a walk. I think it would be something, to always have on hand.
Yeah.
These are also something that, even if you're not into, sports and bodybuilding, just being a mother, like I have a daughter who is like so thankful for these. She has a 1-year-old, and the energy that she has just to get through the day to do the tasks that a mother has to do, and you can't be tired when you have a 1-year-old, they're beneficial for people no matter what, or if you have a job that requires, to do many different things, but at the same time, it helps with all sorts of daily activities.
Yeah, that's so true. In fact, building strength, and here's something interesting a lot of times people take for granted, Leah, is building strength and endurance. Wearing the carnosine patch, for example, will improve your health overall. For instance, having strong, capable muscles and flexibility will provide better stability, reducing a person's risk of injury while performing physical activities. So it definitely significantly benefits older adults who may be more prone to maybe falling.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. And tell me, like, what, for daily wear, is there an age group that is more, driven for results? Or can anyone at any age try these patches?
Anybody at any age pretty much can wear these patches. I can give you an example here of why, though, as we get older, that we need them more and more. Because, so a teenager has approximately 1 trillion cells in the body, of which about 1 billion are adult stem cells. But at the age of 30, the number drops to 400 million. At the age of 50, it drops to 250 million. Age 60, it's dropped to 100 million. And at age 80, it has dropped to 50 million, which is a 95% reduction. So the older we get, the less active stem cells we have circulating in our body, so they're just basically dormant. And what these patches do is they make our body like awaken these stem cells. So that's why as we get older, they're more and more important. But
what I get, don't waste the patches on the millennials, everyone. They have all the energy they need. And plus, let's get these people that are, 50 plus that are losing the energy. Let's give them, distribute them to those people.
Well, Leah, I have to tell you a story, though, Leah. This just happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was at a restaurant, and I was talking to the bartender, who was probably 22, and he was graduating. Long story short, he wanted to sample the X39 stem cell activation patch because of a benefit that Wendy and I have also noticed, and that's cognitive increase. So imagine having college students, in their, say, 20, 21, 22, that need to have more better memory, better recall, just to be more focused. And so he wore the patch. He actually started wearing, and he told me about a week later, he said it wasn't like having Adderall, like taking Adderall. And if anybody has ever taken Adderall, you know what the feeling is, and you know why you're taking it, why it's prescribed to you. However, what he said was that he had energy well beyond what he would have normally had, even had he taken the Adderall, and it didn't have any of the side effects. It was just a natural, focused abilities, especially for people with ADD, attention deficit, people that have different issues with focus, right? So that is another reason why the patches help all ages, especially, for people in their learning stages, where they have, let's face it, they have problems concentrating.
Okay, so I take that back. Let the millennials have the patch, especially if you're paying for their college education. Let everyone have the patch. Not my 3-year-old grandson, though. Let me tell you, he's a hoot. He doesn't need anything. In fact, he needs some of his energy taken away. I really want, I want, as we advance as humanity, I think that this is something that we can one day say that the youth will not just totally rule the world, that the people in our age group and beyond will be ruling the world and doing things. Why? Because they're not going to be so driven by diseases, and they have all the energy and they can do whatever they want. So somebody 85 years old can be running for president, even up into their 90s with their abilities. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Leah. Wendy and I have been talking about this for a while now, and there is a book that I can't remember the author's name, but it's called How to Live to Be 120. And what the studies are showing now is that we can live, the human machine right now, even with the conditions the way they are, can live to be 120, 130, 140, even 150 years old. As hard as that is to fathom, because most people, when they get to be 80 or 90, that's like, and, both my parents lived to be in their late 80s and my dad in his early 90s. So with these patches, however, this changes the game. It changes the dynamics. Wouldn't you agree, Wendy?
I totally agree. 100%. That's really should be happening in this world, because I'm tired of people, even when they reach 80 or 90 years old, that they look at and they
or not active in society or whatever. And not only that, but they don't get aggressive medical treatment at the hospitals because the doctors just say, well, they're 95 years old. We're not going to do anything aggressive right now. Just let them be, get them into hospice and just let them go comfortably. I think that the future must hold a change in that entire perspective, that we're no longer aging, but we're actually growing better and feeling better and not having to look at,
I actually feel that we all, at any age, need to be our own health advocate. Because, obviously the doctors aren't, their number one interest is not our health. So we have to be out there.
That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. I can get on my soapbox and tell you how many doctors I have visited, and not one of them have referred me to a vitamin or any type of a, health benefit or anything. They just want to give me a shot or give me some meds and send me on my way. That is,
And one thing about even taking vitamins, even talking about the glutathione patch. You can go take a vitamin that has glutathione in it, but if you were to actually get your blood test and see how much of that vitamin went through your digestive system and how much of it you pee out, the main thing about the patch is that once it's on your skin, it does that signal straight to your brain, and it's there to stay.
Oh, we got to go to commercials. We'll be right back before you can say the word pee.
How would you?
KLIF, and I am back doing the third segment. We're talking about something so very fantastic, something that can change our lives, change the world, and everything. And I want to ask both Wendy and Joseph, what do the doctors in the world say about these patches? Wendy, do you want to start?
Well, for the most part, most doctors are not using them because most don't know about them yet. But there are a few that holistic doctors that are starting to see the benefits and really are excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually interesting, Wendy, that, we both have seen little by little, more and more and more are jumping on the patch technology. And because of the results. And see, that's one of the things that you were saying earlier, Leah, about doctors, they just want to give you meds, hey, just because the pharmaceuticals, that's what they're taught, just sell them the drugs, sell them the pharmaceuticals, and next, go away. So they don't really have the essence of getting at the root cause. And so what the patches are actually getting results. And now these doctors that, when you become a doctor, you either become a doctor for the money, and that's all to pay, your college fees back, or you become a doctor because you really love helping people. Like your real desire is you want to see people really get healthy. And those doctors, as you mentioned, Wendy, the holistic ones, they're the ones that are getting amazing results. But you will see more and more coming on board because they cannot deny people good health. It's like if you have the option to give somebody meds and watch them deteriorate and have all the terrible side effects versus giving someone what the body needs to heal and watching them heal and live healthier, younger, longer, that's going to be, it's going to tip in that side of the scale.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's get back to, the daily wear of these patches. What happens, like when I wear a patch, sometimes they do fall off. What can I do to prevent the patch from falling off my skin?
Well, for me, I try to make sure that I put them on right after I shower. Or if it's, say I showered the night before and I put them on in the morning, at least make sure I wash the spot really good with a wet rag or take a shower and then make sure it's clean of like any kind of oil, from our body, and then it's really dry. And I put it on then, and I don't have an issue with them falling off.
How long, Joseph, will a patch last on the body? How long should someone wear? I've been guilty of wearing one for 3 days.
Well, it's funny you would say that because Wendy and I have both had times where we fall asleep, put them on. We put them on, say, at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and then forget to take them off. Typically, we recommend 12 hours, 12-hour cycles. So you put it on at 8 in the morning, take it off at 8 at night. However, like Wendy and I both, many times we just fall asleep, put them on, and just take them off in the morning and put a new set on. However, and Wendy brought up a good point, the skin should be clean. My daughter, I had sent her some patches to sample and wear. And what she noticed is some people do have sensitive skin. And so what she did is she basically had put on, I said, if you have sensitive skin, you can wear it over clothing because, of course, body heat goes through the clothing. The infrared light goes through the clothing and will still work. The patch will still be active. Will still activate. So that is an option if some people don't want to wear it right on the skin.
This is so interesting. I can't believe we have to go to commercial break now. Everyone stay tuned because, on this show, we always say the very best for last. So don't go away. We'll be right back in a flash.
Regardless of whether you are a climate activist or a skeptic, David Munson Jr. has a positive solution to climate change that doesn't involve stopping the use of oil and gas, but solves other more serious problems such as the loss of topsoil as well. Go to the GetRealAlliance.org for more information or tune in at 570 KLIF to the weekly roundup show.
It was a time of optimism. Businesses were growing and the American dream was alive. But a health and economic crisis lay in wait, threatening our security and prosperity. Businesses struggled to survive and support their employees. The weight was on their shoulders. Insperity was built for times like this. We've provided confidence amid the chaos, restoring the indomitable spirit of the American entrepreneur, together rising above. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Here's your host, Leah Belding.
We're back, everyone. The weekly roundup show on 570 AM KLIF. I'm Leah Belding, your host, and I've been interviewing Wendy, Rich, and Joseph Anthony. And I want to ask both of them exactly where would one go to sample one of these life wave patches?
Well, they would go to WendyRichEnergy.com. Wendy Rich, so just her first and last name, and then the word energy.com. We have a 90-day money-back, 100% satisfaction guarantee, and it's risk-free for anyone who wants to sample some of the patches that we're talking about on your program today.
I want to go ahead and spell Wendy's name, Wendy, and then her last name is Rich. I love that name, Rich. And also, what about you, Joseph? Do you want to give out your website?
That is it. That we joined forces. So Wendy and I are partners. So that would be the easiest way to order the patches. Just go to WendyRichEnergy.com. WendyRichEnergy.com. Now that's pretty easy to remember. Wendy, you also mentioned this other patch for calming the nerves. That
would help people get off of a lot of anti-anxiety medication. What patch is that you talked about?
Yes. So I had said that there was some benefits that I experienced that I did not anticipate when I started the patches. And first of all, it was with the X39. The X39, the main one, had started giving me like more of a calm state of mind. But then I found out that there was also the Nirvana patch, which is a little bit more, it helps with endorphins a little bit more. And so I started wearing that patch, and I have been able to get off of anxiety and depression medication over this last year of being on the patches. And I'm just grateful. I wasn't expecting that. It is amazing to know that I don't have to spend the rest of my life taking medications that have all kinds of side effects, and that I can actually experience, a happy, peaceful state of mind without all the different side effects. And one of the side effects that I hated so bad about all the other medications was that they actually take your personality away. They may make you, not go one extreme to the other, but they just take away your personality. And these patches actually enhance your own personality. That you don't have to deal with the side effects. Plus, you get to keep the part of the personality that you like.
I love it that it will do that. What is your take on that, Joseph?
Totally agree. I mean, there is studies now that show that these patches, particularly the Nirvana, and also some effects with the X39, however, increase your dopamine levels. So when you are just feeling a state of well-being throughout the day, we all have different effects of this, daily stress and affecting our moods. And so the mood enhancing aspect of wearing, for example, like Wendy mentioned, the Nirvana patch, that's huge because you can help people that have anxiety. You can help people that have panic attacks and people that might have OCD and different personality issues, that can help balance their mood, and they can function better in at their job. They can function better, period.
Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. I hope everyone is taking notes on this show. And if you fail to take notes, this show will be downloaded on the Cliff site in a couple of days so that you can listen to it over and over again. Plus, your first show with me, that was like about a month ago, is still downloaded on the site, right, everyone?
Yes.
It is. It's great. Well, I am so glad to have you both back by popular demand on this weekly roundup show. And I'm really excited myself because, I'm also an active wearer of this this X39 LifeWave patch. And I'm wearing it now. And I love it, I love it. I make sure I have it on, first thing every morning, at least a fresh one. I totally recommend it to everyone. I really do. Joseph and Wendy, I have one more question to ask you. What makes one patch better than the other patch? What's the main difference? Is there one better than the other one?
That's a great question, Leah. Each patch is exclusively designed to reflect specific wavelengths of light that stimulate specific points on the skin, as we had talked about earlier, which enables each patch to provide unique health benefits. So it's not like a drug or chemicals that enter in your body that have all these different side effects. Like Wendy was talking about Nirvana. Maybe, Wendy, you could kind of talk a little bit about, the difference between, say, Nirvana and X39.
Well, okay. So, yeah, like the X39 focuses more on stimulating our mother cells. And our mother cells, are needed for every cell in our body. But say the Nirvana, like one of the patches that's more specific, they kind of are stimulate our daughter cells, which are the best way to explain it is that the stem cells can treat, beat, and heal like pretty much any health condition that we have, because our cells have the miraculously able to mold themselves to heal our body on a cellular level, and they can become whatever they need to become to heal us.
That's really awesome, a scientific approach about the body, learning about how the body does react to the stimuli, right?
Yeah. And, just so the audience knows, Leah, is that this technology, if they want to really research it, goes back about 2,000 years ago. The ancient Greeks had a center for studying the effects of different colored lights on the body. So this is why this new light therapy, photobiomodulation, that's the big word, the $1,000 word. It really does go back to that time when the ancient Egyptians, who promoted health by focusing on sunlight through colored glass on certain areas of the body, understood this concept. And this science today is really taking that to the next level. And that's why this nanotechnology and, wearing the patch is so beyond anything that medical science is really even wanting to do. I mean, who wants to get a shot? Who wants to go and have a big needle stuck in them?
Exactly. Now, I think wonderful. And, as they say, there's nothing new under the sun. And even with this technology, as you say, taking it a little bit from the Greeks, but yet we're more advanced with the study and research to be able to take it even further than they did back then, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And, and nobody is immune to stress. So, it's something that we all can use because, and even the fact that, it does cost a little bit of money. It's definitely not as expensive as buying all the, vitamins and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of vitamins that we just, like we were talking about, you just pee out. These are... So they go straight to our brain, and they trigger our brain to start healing itself.
I think that's wonderful, And they say we don't even use a full 100% of our brain as it is.
That is true.
Well, Wendy and Joseph, it's been just a great pleasure to have you on my show. And everyone, if you have a question, do you want to give out your telephone number?
Well, if they want to go to the website, wendyrichenergy.com. That actually has a free download. They can get all their questions answered, most people's questions, most common questions. And then there is a way to contact us on that website. So they just go to wendyrichenergy.com and they can contact and they can send their questions in. And there's even Wendy and I have a Facebook page, and they can join our, follow us on Facebook and even ask questions. So that's probably the easiest way. Just, it's 24/7. So they have access to ask questions 24/7.
That is wonderful. 24/7, WendyRichEnergy.com. Did I say that right?
Yes, correct. It's WendyRichEnergy.com. Correct.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the Weekly Roundup show. I'm sure you'll be back on the show again in a few months down the road. And, people, if you have questions, you can call the station here, try to get in touch with me. If you, can't get in touch with Wendy or Joseph, but pretty much they're easy to get in touch with, right, Wendy and Joseph?
Correct.
Yeah.
So just go to that website, and there's a few different ways to get in touch with us on the website.
That's great. Well, we got to close for now. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy this fine weather, and be safe out there, and keep that patch on.
Thank you so much, Leah.
You're so welcome. Bye, everyone. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
The preceding program is furnished by the Insurance Doctor of Texas and is responsible for its content.
Hello, everyone. This is Leah Belding, host of the Leah Belding Show.